Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nu'man bin Bashir radiallahu anhu, he reports that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the likeness of a man who observes the limits prescribed by Allah and that of the man who transgresses them is like the people who get on board a ship after casting lots. Some of them are in its lower deck and some of them in its upper deck. Those who are in its lower deck, when they require water, they go to the occupants of the upper deck and say to them, if we make a hole in the bottom of the ship, we shall not harm you. If the occupants of the upper deck leave them to carry out their design, they all will be drowned. But if they don't let them go ahead with their plan, all of them will remain safe. My brothers in Islam, Islam's vital requirement is Amr bil Maruf wa Nahy anil Munkar, which means that when we are a part of a society, as we are, our standards as Muslims are different from those that are not Muslims. But these differences are not necessarily going to affect people unless we first establish that we are people who are meaning good to the society. Meaning you cannot correct somebody if you haven't connected with them. If people don't know us because we don't take part in activities, we don't in general promote good, we are people that are restricting ourselves to ourselves only, which means we only mix amongst ourselves. We don't have anything to do with people outside our faith. How are people going to understand what we believe in and what we stand for? Very famously it was said, a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. So Amr bil Maruf, promoting good, is a part of this deen. How is Amr bil Maruf done? By making ourselves a part of the society, in that we actively are appearing to do good. I'll give you an example. How many of us in our street have done a street cleaning, for example? As the spring starts and the winter's finishing, we could make a small effort. Youngsters and some elders go out and clean the street. It may not look like very much, but in the end it looks like people who are interested in making the place clean. Secondly, we make sure that places of worship like masajid don't become a source of any harm to people. One example is on Fridays when we block people's way to get out of their house. When we create a situation where our neighbors are inconvenienced, think about what they are seeing of us. They're seeing of us people that are doing things to inconvenience them. Here the hadith is saying that example of people in the upper and lower deck are what? Upper deck are people who have, lower deck are people who don't have. Don't have what? Water. Everybody needs water to survive. If the upper deck people don't share their water, the Prophet ﷺ said, the lower deck people, because they are upset or tired of going and asking people in the upper deck, they said, you know what? We won't even bother people in the upper deck, we'll just make a hole. There's plenty of water in the sea or the river, wherever the boat is. But the Prophet ﷺ said, what will happen if the upper deck people don't stop them? What will happen if the upper deck people said, well, it's not bothering us, it's their problem. The Prophet ﷺ said, making a hole in the ship, although it will first drown the people on the lower deck, ultimately it will drown everyone. We have to look around us to say the harm that a society is facing, because there is no longer anybody who's making an effort to promote khair. Our deen is not just confined in masajid, in the mosques, where we promote good, we encourage each other to not do bad, and then forget the bigger society that we are a part of. Imagine the Prophet ﷺ and his Sahaba acted like this. Imagine the best of the generations were confined to goodness only to themselves and their families. How would this deen, how would goodness spread? Ultimately, what will happen? If enough badness is around, as I often remind Muslim parents, if you're only protecting your children, but you're protecting the children of the society, you're forgetting the children of the society, Those children, when they become overwhelming, which they will because they are larger, what will they do? They'll take your children with them. There's a very big risk that we will face the consequences of what's happening to those that don't believe in God because we never made any effort to let them know. May Allah Ta'ala make us people of da'wah, people who invite others to good. Da'wah to Islam cannot be done unless da'wah is seen to be the norm. Da'wah to Islam cannot be done unless we are people of akhlaq, beautiful manners, people that are seen to as righteous, upright people. I still remember many years ago when there was an issue of education in the schools, which both Muslims and non-Muslims disliked because they were promoting things that were considered fahish, were considered obscene. I still remember that people from the Christian faith came and said, we know that Muslims are upright people. We know that they have principled way of living their life. We want you to come and join hands with us so we can both talk about this disaster that's unfolding in the society. May Allah Ta'ala make us people like that, that others join with us and struggle in the way of doing the right thing together. May Allah Ta'ala make our gatherings a source of khair for people, both Muslims and those who don't have Islam. May Allah Ta'ala make us people that shine for the society the values that the society now longs and looks for. May Allah Ta'ala make us people that are a source of goodness to everyone, Muslims and non-Muslims. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Jazakallah khair.